So my name is Justin Angeles. I'm the Chief Advisor for Waveseer Incorporated. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the company, my experience coming in, and I'm going to turn it over to David Rosenhaus in New York here in a minute. My background is I've been in cannabis my entire life. Since I was 16, it's the only thing I've ever done professionally. I started in the garden with an agriculture and horticulture degree. From there, I moved into the consulting space. From there, I moved into the rulemaking and bill writing space. We helped write the Kentucky CBD bill, first sample in U.S. history. We helped write the Puerto Rico bill, their rules and regs. We helped Ministry of Health in Germany with their tax system. And coming into Waveseer, I got to enjoy facilities that I don't get to see anywhere in the country. This is Jenny's, their dispensary in North Los Angeles. And this is some of the data analytics they're using to evaluate market trends. So this is just a snapshot of New Year's Eve, which is obviously a big day for us. You can see we have non-cannabis products sold, total transactions done, total number of cannabis products sold on the left. This pie chart here is broken up based on a bud tender sales review, so we know who's turning the most product in the least amount of time. You can really dial analytics down to try revenues. Here we have our trends week over week. So you can see here this week was about $225,000 week. We have it broken down across product categories and across bud tender sales, so that we can really dive into the analytics and drive the business value. And really, where I come in, so total annual revenue for this past year was just over. So we have 22.5 million listed here. That's without our Oregon facilities, so roughly 25 million in revenue. We are cash positive, which is something that most businesses in cannabis cannot say, and we exceeded our projections by about $1 million last year. The intellectual property involved in the company, which is not something we lead with, obviously, has tremendous value in and of itself. This cube here is designed out of aircraft-grade aluminum, food-grade stainless steel, equipment parts and pieces that we don't get to see on an everyday basis in cannabis. And I could go through all the various pieces of high-level equipment here, but I don't think we have time for that today. So if you'd like to get into it more, just let me know. I'd be happy to talk you through all these high-level pieces of equipment that we're utilizing in our facility. The plants in the facility are using a deep water culture system, which means we just have roots hanging in water. There is no media whatsoever. We have an incredible water recycle rate. We're almost water neutral with our recycling of water, and almost waste neutral, considering we don't have any media waste active on this. And as you can see, their vegetation room, hospital grade sterility, unmatched level of technological parallel, beautiful flowering plants, and now I will introduce the CEO, David Rosen, Democratic fundraiser of the century, and one of the greatest cannabis CEOs I have worked with. David, please.
Thank you, Justin, for that very kind introduction. We're here today to meet the partner. Not unlike dating, we're looking for that special partner. We built a really valuable company, and hopefully you're here at this conference attending it. We're thrilled to be here. Thank you for having us. And here's the Waveseer story. That's me. We started in 2014, so 8 years ago, we started in cannabis. And I used to do other things, and now I only do this. I planted every plant, I hired every manager, and I raised every dollar. So far, we're based here in Las Vegas. If any of you are here, and you can enjoy the Rosen discount too by going by one of our dispensaries. We have $22 million total raised in the deal so far. That's all the people I knew. I ran out of people. And we're at $25 million in revenue. We have licenses in 4 states, Nevada, Oregon, Maryland, and Illinois, and and we have a speculative market of Massachusetts, which we've been working on for 3.5 years. So the cannabis market. So those of you that don't know, the cannabis market is $25 billion now, $100 billion by 2030. The NFL is $25 billion. We're doing pretty good. There's 36 states that are legal now. The majority of the adult population of the United States has access to legal cannabis now. Of the 36 states, half of them are adult use. Just have to be an adult to go into a cannabis shop and purchase cannabis. It's one of the few things that Americans agree on. There's 68% of all Americans, all political stripes, all parties, all age groups believe that cannabis should be legal. You won't get that on clean water in the U.S. So this is going to happen. It's no longer an if, is it going to be legal? In fact, we anticipated that it would be legal by now, certainly 8 years in. Record state revenues make it impossible for them to put the genie back in the bottle. What would they do without the money? The Nevada market is just a terrific market. We're based here. It's like they're gaming. They want to regulate the world in cannabis like they regulate the world in gaming. It's very difficult to pass a lab test here. So if you can do it here, you can do it anywhere. It's also just a terrific market with 52 million people coming here to recreate, with the professional sports teams all relocating here, expansion teams of hockey and football, and now baseball and basketball to be rumored. We built a really valuable company over the last 8 years, and we did it by driving 5 miles, putting $5 in the gas tank, driving 5 miles and putting $5 in the gas tank. We're true operators. We have not, M&A, we think stands for mergers and acquisitions. We haven't had the luxury yet to participate. We have a bank. So what are the foundations of our company? Most cannabis companies, I know y'all in public companies and real companies take your bank for granted. We're thrilled to have a bank. We have banks that mortgage our facilities, that pick up our deposits and put them in the Federal Reserve. We're cashless, and it beats the days of rolling around with $400 grand in a backpack going to pay our taxes. Real estate. We didn't want to buy our real estate. We were forced to buy our real estate because no one would give us a mortgage. Well, lo and behold, 8 years later, that real estate is very valuable, and that's one of our strengths, our core values. Employees. We're the only union company in Nevada. We give pensions and free college, high hourly wage, vision and dental insurance to all of our employees. A living wage and health insurance is how we founded this company, and it's how we're going to go down. You know, there's 3 new jobs in the world: Uber, Lyft, and cannabis. And Uber and Lyft aren't too good. So we're rebuilding the middle class one job at a time. We hire returning citizens. We retrain everybody. You can walk to work in these urban centers, and we actually manufacture things. We make things. We don't push paper, although there's paper we want to push. We manufacture items, we grow the plants, we retail them, and we transport them all ourselves. Because of all the mistakes we've made over the last 8 years, we have a tremendous amount of expertise. We've made every mistake you can make, and we're still standing. We're one of the last independent companies left. 85% of all companies have been absorbed by Canadian companies now because it's legal in Canada for a long time. So the public markets are accessible to them, and so is that money. Now, none of them are profitable. If you track the public markets, they're down 1,000% of their value. Over the last 2 years, all of the public stock of cannabis companies are in the tank. We went up 16% last year. It's the one time I was glad we weren't tied to the public markets, because we didn't catch that dip. We're strong, and we're actually ready to grow with the uptick coming. We're vertically integrated. What business can you actually be the manufacturer, the retailer, the wholesaler, the transporter? That's fantastic. I think our brothers and sisters in liquor would love to have that opportunity. So by being vertically integrated, we have the ability to shut off some spigots, turn them on in hard times, turn them off in hard times. We control our own prices. We control our intercompany transfers. And with the lack of actual cash and liquidity in this business, that's invaluable and I would argue imperative for our success. Because of that, we're a break-even company. You can call us positive EBITDA. But when you pay 60% in taxes and you can't write down any of your business expenses, it's impossible to show a profit. So again, 60% in taxes and you can't lower your taxable income. What law firm could handle that? What restaurant could handle that? What business could handle that? We've done it for 8 years. Now, I'm not griping because we have these licenses, these businesses, and we're at great revenue, and we're operational, and we're very valuable. But boy, oh boy, it's hard to survive with that business environment. I dare say no one else has had to. Remember, we're still illegal. We're not even out of the garage. We're in an illegal business that globally is illegal. We've taken U.S. and their war on drugs, took the whole world down the wrong path. And now the whole world is coming to the right path. So we manufactured and invented the equipment that we grow. Millions and millions of people will work in this industry globally. And we're just at the nascent stages. So the fact that we can't get a bank loan is hardly right. We're in on the early stages. Our Waveseer, we saw a wave coming 8 years ago. In Las Vegas, it's a terrific place to build under brands. 52 million people come here to recreate. People come from all over the world and all over the country. So our brands are quite recognizable. And if we're able to expand into these other states, it'll give us a nice launch. Again, back to our mistakes. We've had 8 years of R&D. We failed more lab tests than most people have taken. We really do know what we're doing. And because of that, we had to invent and patent the equipment that we're growing out of. There's the real estate empire. We have cultivation production facility. The top 3 are all in Vegas. Top 2. We own the dispensary in Henderson. We are leasing one here in Las Vegas, in North Las Vegas, with a 20-year lease. We own the shopping center in Bend, Oregon, and then we own the 100-acre farm and all the licenses attached to it in Oregon. This is Jennings, 8,000 square feet, does about $200,000 a week. It's a neighborhood store, and it's not doesn't get the ebb and flow of the strip at all. We see 0 tourists. People that work on the strip are our customers. And good days and bad days, good weeks and bad weeks, we do $200,000 a week. Our brands the wholesale brand is Waveseer. That's the name of the cultivation and the flower. Jennings is the retail, and Pure Extracts, 25% of the market. Our vape pens, sublingual strips, edibles, gummy bears, and the like. So again, necessity is the mother of invention. We had to invent our equipment. Before I get to that, I wanted to talk about our employees. We have a low turnover rate, 14.5%. I think there's a correlation between a living wage and health insurance and a low turnover rate, but you'll have to ask our employees. We have expertise in research and development. It's really tough. Indoor agriculture is tough. It's not new to this country. Go to Honduras, there's 1 million square feet of pepper. They get one more pepper and they make millions of dollars more. Here, we learned how to grow marijuana in our grandmother's basements. It's illegal. We use bud hardeners and pesticides. And now with the legal market, the expertise is now coming online. A lot of it we had to invent. We've had 24 license applications, hundreds of lab tests, 7 years of retail operations, and hundreds of liters of oil formulated, the most valuable oil in the world. As far as necessity is the mother of invention, we didn't like what was out there, so we are growing virtually without water. I said we grow plants without water. When Lake Mead is down to your ankles, and we're able to recycle and reclaim our water, holy cow. So when we go global with this equipment, thank you, the plants are suspended 15 degrees chill below surface temperature in oxygen-rich, nutrient-rich water. After the harvest, we take that water, we put it into another tank, we take out all the bad spent nutrients, recycle it, RO, back to clean water, back into the system. If you harvest your dehumidification water, you're water positive. The average grow uses 20 million gallons a year. We use 15,000 gallons a year. and most of their 20 million gallons evaporate. Okay, 2022 priorities. If we don't meet our perfect partner here at this amazing conference, we're still doing these things. This is without any new money. Our plan is to secure acceptable funding, so the market is it's tightened up with liquidity, and most of the money that's available to us is punitive, predatory, not a good deal. We're going to open Jennings, Maryland. We won that license back in 2016. We're going to remodel Jennings Bend, Oregon. We already have the plans, but that's already approved. Will be done this year. We'll construct and open our drive-through. It's done. Drive-through today. We're open 24 hours. We'll increase our Las Vegas wholesale market share. We're currently carrying about 40% of the existing Vegas stores, and our plan is to organically grow there. If we get the capital, we'll take over 90% of those markets. It's just demand. The demand is super high. It's just equipment that we need to add to it in space and scale. And finally, our speculative market of Boston, we will need some money to open that. Okay, so our exit strategy. We wait till federal legalization. After federal legalization, we have an automatic multiplier in Canada. When cannabis went legal, at a 100-fold increase on all of their stock. You're able to transact across province lines. You're able to do regular banking and your taxes went down. So with any of those changes for us, we'll be very much positive even. Until then, our goal is to drive our shareholder value by increasing our revenue, by expanding our national footprint, and by developing our brands. And then finally, post-legalization, we'll decide whether to remain private, whether to go public, or whether to sell outright. I'll add one more. Because the public stocks are in the tank right now, we're considering looking at some of these companies to be acquired and take their ride up, and then have an extra ride with the federal legalization. Thank you for allowing us to present at this important conference. Thank you for letting me talk about cannabis. I like to do that. I'm here to answer 1 minute of questions because I have 1 minute left. If there are any questions, please. And thank you. I'm sure you can contact us when you guys want to talk about more of the details. Yes? Oh, I thought that was you, Justin.
Booth 17.
Our information is at booth 17, if you'd like to see it. I have, yes, please.
Just real quick, is there a reason you haven't expanded into California, or are you waiting for federal legalization?
Two things. If California has a gray and black market, they don't even call it that. They call it the legacy market. We can't compete with people that aren't paying taxes. So that's why we stayed out so far. It's just very difficult. They have a real gray and black market problem. Here in Las Vegas, you can't grow cannabis outside the desert.
So, Oregon market, my understanding is there are customers for tax rating.
It was the case. About 5 years ago, there was the worst legal glut in the country. There's been a moratorium since then. We operate a retail store. It's a fantastic market. There's no new, hasn't been a new license in 6 years. Those licenses that were there all failed. It's now a really terrific market and very good for our type of cannabis, deep water culture and hydro. Outdoor cannabis is a big difference to indoor pharmaceutical grade cannabis. We're well received there, and the price per pound is still super high, $2,300 a pound still.
And so what you did say is what your ideal partner looks like.
Sure. We're looking for $10 million to expand our Las Vegas facility. That will free up the cash flow we need for the rest of the markets. It's just for build out. We own the facility. It's just TIs. We need to expand our cultivation. We need to expand our production, which is equipment. If we receive that $10 million, it brings our revenue up $10 million annually. And this build out is a 4-month build. Again, we're private now, so right now we just closed our friends and family round, and so we could reevaluate this deal completely with the right partner. So if someone came in with the right type of capital, we could build out all of our facilities. That brings us to about $85 million in annual revenue. Thank you.